What up, guys? Alchemist, and I got something nice for you. So we're on like an all-time high right now because Destiny 2 just did an Edge of Fate reveal event, and it shows so much into it. And I want to do basically a breakdown of what stuff they showed that I'm 100% sure people missed because the stream wasn't like staying there long enough for people to actually read and see what's going on. So I want to just go through this real quick and show you a lot of the stuff y'all missed that gonna have us you know, hype, and some things gonna be like, oh my god, is this happening? So first things first, right here we got a new exotic hand cannon that when it shoots like bolt charge lightning strikes, right? And not only that, it holds hold the reload button to change its form to a stasis hand cannon, and it does a stasis explosion. Fire exotic. I'm assuming it can't be the season pass exotic, I don't think, because New Land Beyond should be the season pass exotic, but this exotic looks fire. Doing arc and stasis, it looks fire. Right here with the pulse rifle I said, I'm assuming it's an exotic pulse rifle, because when you shoot the new flying enemies, right here it takes a shot. It charged it up. They held the shooting button like it was a fusion rifle, right? They held the trigger down, and as you can see with not the radar, but the dot, the little scope on the gun charged up, and then when it charged up, it shot a rocket, and it used 3 bullets from the pulse rifle. Charged up, shot it, used 3 bullets. I don't know if you got to stay locked on an enemy long enough, and then it seems like it's like that, where you scan the enemy, you stay on the enemy target, and then when it charge up, you press the trigger and it shoots a rocket. And they didn't show it no more. They didn't want to, and it got a cooldown to it. As you can see, it got a cooldown to it. After he shot that rocket, he zoomed in right here. You see the bars on the left side and right side of the scope. It starts slowly going down, showing that you got to wait to the cooldown to be able to do that charge shot again. So cool pulse rifle exotic. So we know the 2 exotics coming in this expansion, which is the pulse rifle and the hand cannon. At least those 2, and then of course New Land Beyond, right? Also too, in this footage, if you look in the bottom left corner under the heavy ammo bar, right? I'm gonna reverse back so that the red YouTube bar can get off. Pay attention, under the heavy machine gun bar, there's a special heavy weapon. There's a special ammo bar and a heavy ammo bar, and when you get kills, the bar get filled up. We now know, like Bungie said they're gonna do, we now know as we get kills, we know when a special ammo brick or a heavy ammo brick will spawn in for us now. So that's the new thing. If you didn't notice that in the UI, it will be under the machine gun, your heavy ammo weapon, whatever, in said situation. If you didn't notice right here, there's a lot of things going on right here. First thing that's going on right here that they talked about the portal thing. They said the higher difficulty you do, the more rewards you get. So they show like new modifiers and new banes and new booms you can add into the mission to change the score for you to improve your score ranking over here. So now you actually know if you're getting a platinum, bronze, silver, you know, gold in the activity before you even launch the activity based on the difficulty you put it on. But the cool thing in this section is under Grandmaster, we have a new difficulty called Ultimate. We will now have a difficulty even harder than Grandmaster, which sounds so dope. And I'm just curious how good the loot actually gonna be. I don't want it the loot just being, oh, you got an extra adept drop. Like, no, I want it to be some unique loot, like some ultimate level loot. Like, oh, we drop exclusive passive armor in this difficulty. If you can beat it, you'll get this passive armor, right? New passive trait armor, right? But in case you missed that, we do have a difficulty higher than Grandmaster called Ultimate in the game now. And if you didn't notice this as well, it seems like Bungie is getting rid of the light level system. Right now, you see it say the current power is 100. We already know we're in like the 2000s, whatever, when it comes to power. They say your power is 100. They say combatant power is 110. You see normal says 10 power, right? And then ultimate gonna be 500 power. So they changing how the power system work in the game. I remember back then there was a rumor going on that Bungie's gonna be scrapping the light system and going straight to your power is based off of the weapons you're wearing and the armor you're wearing, which is kind of already what we have. But instead of you having to do like pinnacle activities to get your light level stuff up and doing infusions, it seemed like every armor and weapon is gonna have like a certain tier to it, and based on the tier gonna be the amount of power that armor and weapon gives to you. Because in the Viaduct, they explicitly says we want people to know if a weapon or armor is stronger than another weapon or armor. So if you see a tier 5 weapon, then you know that tier 5 weapon is better than a tier 4 or tier 3 weapon that you got from a different activity. So the tier of your weapon and armor gonna dictate your power in the game now, it seems like, meaning you have to do harder activities in order to get said higher gear, is what it's seeming like right now. Now this is the main thing that stood out to me, the new stats. So the new stats we got is weapons, health, class, discipline, or grenade, super, which is intellect, and melee, which is strength. That's the new stat spread, right? Let me tell you why this is so good. Hunters, we are eating right now. Hunters, we are eating. No longer is there a mobility stat in the game. No longer is there a mobility stat that we have to spec into. They now throw everybody stat into class abilities. So this is an L for Titans and Warlocks. They have to do better stat spreads now, like Hunters was going through. But they got rid of the mobility stat. We no longer have to worry about that as Hunter mains. Let's cap it up. Yes! So, let's get into the amazing thing about these new stats. So right now we got weapon stat. Increases weapon reload speed and handling. And is 1-to-1 with the actual stat. Now every stat number counts in this game. It's no longer, oh, you have to hit every 10 to get a tier for the stat bonus. Every number counts now. So being at 46, he getting benefits from being at 46, right? Increased weapon damage against minor and major combatants. Now the reload and handling, like I said, is 1-to-1 with the stat. Since he have 46 stat number, his increased reload and handling is 4.6%. It's literally 1-to-1, right? The damage, we did the math on stream. It's a 0.15 increase in your weapon damage per number. Meaning at 100, you will have a 15% increase in damage against minors and majors with weapon damage. But it gets even better. Enhanced benefit. The enhanced benefit happens when you go above the 100 stat roll level on your stats now. The enhanced benefit is ammo bricks from defeated targets have a chance to contain additional rounds. So now you get extra ammo from picking up ammo bricks off the ground. There's a chance now. So that's better for not having to have scavenger mobs on, right? But the last part is what's the best important part. Increases weapon damage against bosses and opposing guardians. So going above 100, make it that 15% that weapon damage you was getting from majors and minors is now towards bosses as well and guardians in PvP. But if you do the math, if you hit a max 200 stat in weapons, that means you will be doing a 30% increase in damage to minors and majors and bosses with the weapon stat. Weapon stat is probably the most important stat in PvE now. Now, am I probably jumping the gun a little bit? Maybe. Bungie may do inflation on the stats where the higher it goes up, the more that it dissipates, basically. It goes down. So instead of it being 30% weapon damage, it may be like only 18% or 20%. With the more it goes up, you know, making the stat decay some as it get higher. Who knows? But if it's 1-for-1 and it doesn't decay, if you get a 200 stat roll stat in your weapon stat, you'll be doing a 30% damage buff against all enemies without even contributing to the other buffs in the game like radiant and weapon surges in your leg piece, exotic buffs, weapon buffs with like swashbuckler and stuff. That's just insane. So weapons, character stat gonna be important. They proceed to show the other stat, which is health. Health now says health is the new stat of health is basically recovery and resilience in one stat. That's basically what it is. Health and resilience in one stat. It says increases the amount of health you gain each time you pick up an orb of power. So now when you pick up orb of power, it automatically does recuperation. No longer you need to have the mod on. It automatically does recuperation, and they show you how much health you get per orb. This person is getting 47 health back from picking up an orb of power off the ground, just being at a stat of 68. That's insane. We have 200 health as guardians, and we know how to make heck of orbs in this game. So being able to pick up an orb power and get that much health is kind of crazy at just 68, right? But not only that, now picking up orbs of power also give us resistance to flinch from firing from enemies, shots from enemies. So it shows you the amount is 1 for 1, 6.8, 68. So if you have 100, you'll be at 10% flinch resistance at 100 stat. But the enhanced benefit when you get past 100 is your shields recharge more quickly, meaning your health comes back quicker when you hurt. Recovery stat. It didn't say have additional health when facing combatants, which is your resilience stat. So now you want to get past 100 to get that extra damage resist that we used to be getting with 100 resilience. So health stat gonna be very important. Health and weapon stat gonna be very important in PvE now. And then after that, they show class. This is the new way we get class ability back quicker as all guardians now, instead of it being distributed based off a certain stat, because certain stats were more broken. Titans had the luxury of getting their class ability back quicker from resilience stat, and everybody ran resilience in PvE, so they had it easier. And just like warlocks getting their rift back quicker for recovery stat, they had it easier in PvP. So now we all on the same playing field when it comes to stat distribution and build crafting. It said reduce your class ability cooldown and then increase the amount of class ability energy provided from all sources. It's the same thing for grenades and melee. And the only thing they added here with the enhanced benefit is you gain an overshield when you use your class ability. That's the new thing now. So now if you're got past 100 class ability stat, if you hit a shade step or a rift or a barricade, you'll get an overshield now. Now I don't know if it's like a void overshield, but you get an overshield, which is pretty dope. I don't know if it only stays on while you're using your class ability or if it's actually an overshield that stays on you for like 5 seconds. I don't know. But yeah, that's what class ability do. And then when they go over to grenade say the same thing like class ability. The higher it is, the more energy you get back from all sources and whatnot. But it says increase the damage done by your grenades when you get the enhanced benefit going past 100 threshold. At first, I remember back then they said you may get lucky and you get an extra grenade charge if you have past 100. I see they changed their mind on that, so now they increase grenade damage. We don't know how much increased damage they're talking, so that has to be seen as we play the expansion, right? And like I said, it's the same thing for your melee when it comes to grenade and class ability. Same thing your super. Now super, they actually made super actually more interesting. So it increases the amount of super energy you get from all sources instead of it increasing your cooldown like Intellect used to do. So now you get more super energy from actually doing melee kills with the acid and stuff, grenade kills and all this stuff. So now you get more super energy from that, which is very dope compared to how Intellect used to work. And then also this increases the amount your damage the amount your super do. We don't know what the damage numbers is. Again, it's just like grenade and melee. We have to test it. But going past the 100 threshold stat for super now, making that your super do more damage. So now you can make Celestial Nighthawk and stuff do even more damage than what it actually does, which is insane if you think about it, right? If you make a super build, insane. So now super builds will be definitely worth making now. Now, a thing that they showed right here, you got Tech Sec passive trait, where basically you deal significant increased kinetic damage to combatant shields, overshield vehicles and stuff. It basically deconstruct. But the 4-piece make it that if you defeat a powerful combatant or break a combatant shield with a kinetic weapon, it does the disorienting kinetic shockwave. I'm pretty sure it's like kinetic tremor. It does one big shockwave near that person. It blinds the enemies that got hit by it. This basically makes it that you can break enemy shields with your kinetic weapons instead of having to rely off of energy weapon. So that's what Tech Sec does, right? But the unique thing I seen was Bop right here that I'm pretty sure y'all missed. They now added stats into class items. So now every class item you got, unless Bungie does a rework on all armor in the game, you will have to get new armor no matter what. You'll have to get new armor in the game, just like back then in Forsaken you had to get rid of all your old armor and stuff. You gotta get new armor now. That's just what it is now. You gotta get new armor because class items now have stats to them, so now you gotta try to roll for stat armors in your class, which I'm happy for it. I don't know why they got rid of that. It was like that in Destiny 1. I don't know why they got rid of stats in class items, but I'm glad it's back for build crafting. If you see right there, it's a grenadier on it as well, so I'm pretty sure your ghost can be able to be more specific now with armor dropping for you, letting you know if it's a grenade, if it's discipline focus, intellect focus, etc. So they gonna have a name for it now. So they probably got a mod in ghost that say grenadier, so armor with high discipline drop for grenades, and is more specific for the stats you're going for now instead of it being super RNG, right? So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with the exotic class items. I don't know if we got to farm for new ones now with new stat rolls and stuff on it, but or they're gonna rework it for us. But yeah, that's what we noticed. And as you can see, the armor has 300 plus on it, letting you know the armor power on it for your guardian with the new power level system they're gonna be going for. As we can see, they both have tier 1 armor on. In the top right corner, there's a diamond right there with the blue flag. The diamond tells you what tier armor that is, and it's the same thing with guns. The max tier is 5. They have tier 1 armor on, right? Tier 1 armor on, but he got less power, right? This is the other thing they got. So say after a final blow of a missile, rocket launcher, or grenade launcher that include rocket sidearms, sprint for a short time to get speed booster. If you don't know what speed booster is that speed booster you get when you got amplified on. So that's what this passive gives you, speed booster. Speed booster does give you a 15% damage reduction when enemies are hitting you when you're running. Only while you're running in speed booster though. So it's not as good as amplified. Amplified making that people miss you. They miss their shots with accuracy, and you get the 15% damage reduction. Speed booster just give you the damage reduction while you're running. And then if you get the 4 piece, it says like critical health or suspended or slow, it automatically grants speed booster for a short duration. I'm kind of curious about suspended. While you're suspended, what speed booster just gonna be on, so you get that instant damage reduction. I'm assuming so. The moment you get red health, speed boost just gonna activate. You don't have to run to activate it, which is pretty dope. So good for survivability. I'm hoping Bungie go a little bit more creative with their passive traits on armor, especially for raid armor. I hope raid armor have some insane passive traits to them to make you be like, to make people want to chase after raid armor and have that on compared to other armor. So yeah, I hope Bungie does a little bit better with the passive traits. So right now they seem a little too watered down for build crafting, personally. So now we get to this screen right here to prove my point. This person has tier 5 armor on, as you can see with the 5 diamonds on the right side. He has tier 5 armor on, and as you can see, he has plus 110 to his power level, making him 310. He masterworked his armor, so I'm assuming that masterworking your armor gives you the extra power. He has 11 energy now in his armor instead of 10, because that's the buff they added, right? As you can see, he masterworked his armor 5 times. But the thing I want to point out here is, you still have surges, but we got new mods here. There's a mod in the middle that's blue with the sword on it, with a 3 on it. That is a new font mod. That is a new weapon font mod. As you already know, we have font mods in the game already. We got an armor charge on, you get plus 30 in whatever stat font mod you got on. Final wisdom or all that type of stuff, final mobility and stuff. This is font of weapon. So when you have an armor charge on, you're gonna get plus 30 in your weapon stat. So it's in your leg piece. Is it worth having over your surges? I don't know yet. It's all based on where you at in your weapon stat. Because it probably is better to have a weapon, you know, weapon mod on to get that plus 30 compared to having the surge on for the 15%, depending on where you're trying to get your weapon stat to. But as you can see, there's an extra weapon mod slot in the middle between your, it's the second mod. You got a plus symbol on it and you got a sword symbol on it. As you can see, it's pretty easy to, you know, guess what that is because it uses no energy. It uses no energy. This is basically the new form of quote unquote artifice armor, I would say. And basically, there's a the plus symbol is on the top, and you got an up arrow, and there's a sword symbol on the bottom with a down arrow. Basically, you're doing a give and take risk here to get that 200 stat. That plus going up is your health stat, meaning this probably added a plus 5 to your health stat. And then there's a down symbol with the sword symbol, which is the weapon symbol, which probably giving you a -5 in your weapon stat in order for you to have that plus in your health stat. So that's gonna be a give and take mod slot there to raise a stat and lower another stat based on what you're trying to build craft into. So that's what the new mod slot is basically like artifice armor. Another thing I want to point out is the left first square. It got like a little star symbol. It looks similar to the diamond symbol. So I'm assuming they're taking away infusion. That's what it's seeming like. And that's how you upgrade your armor to the new tier level. As you see with the new weapon, this is a tier 5 weapon. You got the 5 diamonds. And like I said earlier, There's no infusion symbol in the bottom left. It's just a masterwork symbol. Again, I don't know if they're getting rid of infusion because they're doing a new power level system. As you can see, the weapon is 300 power. So again, getting rid of the usual light system they got going on. You can now enhance all your weapon perks, including the magazine perk and the barrel and all that type of stuff, and the intrinsic. I just hope the enhancing is worth it. It's not like, oh, just 1 second or 0.5 seconds like Bungie. Give us some extraness there. But as you can see, there's a new stat under airborne effectiveness on the right side called ammo generation, where basically the higher that stat is, the more ammo bar goes up, that I showed y'all earlier with the heavy and special ammo bar under your heavy weapon now in the open world and PvE. This is going to increase the amount that you get from enemy kills. So now your weapon do have ammo generation bar on it. So now you'll know what weapons to use if you're worried about producing more ammo quicker. We're getting a new Sparrow. We're getting a new Sparrow in the game that's going to be able to be build craft on and be able to shoot enemies and whatnot, is what they said. So they're trying to get us all skimmers, guys. They're trying to get us all skimmers and give us Sparrows that can actually shoot enemies and whatnot, which is pretty dope. I can't wait to see clips of people using Sparrow to do boss DPS videos and make, be funny and, kill bosses with it. Hilarious. It's gonna be hilarious. But this is the picture they showed. We're getting a Sparrow that we can build craft on and shoot enemies and stuff with. Can't wait to see what much we can do with the Sparrow. Can't wait to see that. They brought back the tribute hall, which is amazing. My build video is gonna be way easier to showcase to you guys. The tribute hall gonna be able to show us our DPS numbers on how much damage your weapon does per second, your total damage. So if you're trying to do a damage rotation to see how much damage you're gonna do to a boss when you're inside a raid or something, you can do it here. You change what enemy you're fighting. You have an enemy shooting at you while you're shooting at them, so they teleport and stuff, so you know how good it is. You can fight the champions and stuff, see if your weapon stuns the champions, how an artifact mod working here, and how a exotic perk working here and stuff here. We got our tribute hall back finally, and it's amazing. The only thing I'm curious about is, I'm pretty sure you can jump across that railing to do sword damage and glaive damage. Pretty sure you can change the enemy type on the left side. As you can see, they got the dread symbol there, the scorn symbol there, the fallen symbol there, the high symbol there, the taken symbol there, the cabal symbol there, the vex symbol there, and they have a vanguard symbol there, so you shoot some robots. So they got all the symbols there. Your damage numbers above there, your DPS numbers. You can change what champions you fight to see what it does. This weapon looks pretty cool. It's like an exotic, it's either a new exotic burst hand cannon for us, or it's a new legendary perk that we haven't seen yet, where basically every shot this person is shooting that's doing crit is doing scorch, and then it blows up, stunning the champion. It's probably a new legendary weapon. It is. I've seen reround rounds kicking in. So there's a new heavy burst hand cannon that has reround rounds and a new solar perk they're gonna be giving us that it does scorch per crit, maybe body damage, but it does scorch damage, and you already know you get so many scorch, it does ignitions. So that's pretty dope. We got a new solar weapon perk. There you have it. That's everything you most likely missed inside the reveal stream. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys always. And until next time, stay up. Hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this, man. I will be doing build videos and everything over here. I will be deep in the trenches with the Edge of the Fate. Until next time, stay up.